and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee.
Bulaga's worried about the offensive line. I'm not sure he can think about anything else. He's so worried about the offensive line. Now we'll find out if I have it right or I've just made that up, because I'll ask Bryan Bulaga. Good afternoon. Have I expressed your position?
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about that, because if you want to worry about Jordan Love, you better worry about the guys in front of him blocking for him. If you want him to be ranked number 1 or number 2 or number 3 or number 4 or 5, you should probably be concerned about the guys in front of him that are giving him time to be ranked in the top 5 or whatever it may be. So when you go into an offseason with a bunch of free agents, with not a lot of depth, and with a group that underperformed in the run game, which they should have been really strong at, and obviously in the pass game, as we saw from the last game of the season, I'm a little more concerned about that than I am where Jordan Love is ranked according to Pro Football Focus or ESPN. Like that's all junk. I think we know Jordan is a pretty damn good quarterback. We know he can play the position at a very high level, but there's things that would help him play even better, and that's having the group in front of him perform at a high level as well. So, that would be, I'd say I'm a little more concerned about that than I am Jordan Love at this point.
And I don't think it's possible for you not to be concerned to a level close to this when the season starts. I don't know what they could do that would prevent you from having concerns, because as you stated before, there are just too many changes or potential changes that are going to exist.
Yeah, obviously center is new, left tackle is new. I think there's still going to be a little bit of a battle, however we look at it, for the right guard position. Any way you look at it, I think there's going to be competition there. We don't really know, obviously, with Banks. I'm assuming he's coming back, but we don't know if he's coming back at this point.
Tom, we don't know how big an injury that is, right? How long, Dr. Bulaga, I love to refer to former players as doctors because you understand the kind of injuries. How long into the season would you say the norm is for Zach Tom to be what he once was?
I mean, again, I've never had a patella tendon tear. I don't know many guys that have. So I don't know what that rehab looks like. And is it similar to an ACL? Is the timetable similar to an ACL? Like, I have no idea. So that's why I'm also nervous about that. Not about his ability as a player.
Yeah.
It's how is he going to bounce back and recover from it, and how long is that going to take? Because regardless of surgery goes great, healing goes great, back on the field and by training camp, that's fine, that's great. But there's an adjustment period then once you're working on a repaired knee like that. I went through it with my ACL. It took me, I remember in 2014 when I came back from my first ACL tear, it took me probably 5 to 6 weeks to feel comfortable on that knee, like to actually trust that knee. It didn't help that week 1 in Seattle, that same knee got absolutely rolled into by Richard Rodgers. And I tore the MCL on that freshly repaired ACL knee. So that wasn't good. That didn't inspire me and give me the warm and fuzzies. But regardless from that, it took me about 6 weeks to feel good on it and to trust it and be confident that it's going to be fine, even though every scan, every test, everything in the world told me It's good. Shouldn't worry about it. It's still there. The thought is still there. So, like, that to me is the question with Zach Tom is not his ability, not his toughness, not any of that junk. It's how long is it going to take for that knee to recover? And then mentally, how long is it going to take him to feel really good on it? And that's a question nobody can really answer. He just has to kind of work through that and figure that out. So you put all those things together, don't have a center, questions at left tackle, questions at left guard, probably competition at right guard. What does this group look like? Right? What does it look like? And that to me is the biggest question in the offseason. You can talk about corner and whatever else you want, but that's the biggest question.
And I don't see how there's any way all those things can be resolved. It's just a question of how many of them are left at the start of the regular season.
Yeah. You can't completely rebuild an entire line in one offseason. Like, it's not possible with the cap and the way things go. And you got guys coming back from injury. You got to fill positions. You want to fill positions with good quality starters. But we know that costs money. And I don't know what cap position the Packers are going to be in. So there's just so many questions that need to be answered that you're right. I don't think by the time training camp hits, all of them will be answered on paper. They're going to have to work themselves out through camp, and jobs are going to have to be won. And hopefully depth is created through competition, and depth is created by what we bring in the draft and hopefully some guys in free agency.
I think it would be enough if it was just asking you, all right, what do you think of Jordan Morgan? I think he's going to do it. I think he can do it, but there's really no way to know for sure. There's a question mark there at left tackle. That would be enough to have some level of a concern. That's just, there's so many. You don't even lead with that sometimes.
No, I don't lead with that. I don't lead with that because there's a body there, right? He was brought in to play that position, right? That's what he was drafted to do. He hasn't had the opportunity. He's bounced around in certain positions, hasn't looked great doing it, but now he's going to get the opportunity to focus on only that. So there's a guy there for that job. It's just, how is that going to look? I'm more concerned about, say, the Banks thing doesn't get figured out with a restructure or whatever it may be. There's an empty spot. There's an empty spot at center. We have a right guard that was a rookie that did at times show really good things, but there's a lot to improve on. There could be someone that came in and pushed him from a competition standpoint. It could happen. And then obviously I just talked about Zach Tom and his knee. Love Zach Tom, think he's great, but don't know about the injury. And that's the only thing. So yeah, you look at all these positions in the left tackle. Yeah, I understand everyone thinks left tackle, but there's someone for that spot. There's some spots that we still have question marks about, and who will be in those spots when camp kicks off.
And given it probably doesn't make sense to argue with an offensive lineman about offensive line, but that's not my biggest concern. Is Zach Tom? There is one outstanding offensive lineman, and that's Zach Tom. And I'm afraid he's not going to be that good. And I think just because you know so little about the injury, you've been following offensive line and no offensive lineman. And when you say, I don't know much about that, that tells me that there's a reason to be concerned because the injury is odd and it's about who's going to be good on that line. I don't mean good. I mean really good. The only potential for really good on that line at any of the 5 positions is a healthy Zach Tom. Now, you can tell me if I'm wrong and if I'm shortchanging somebody else. But there's nobody on that line capable of playing at the level that he can play at if healthy, and I don't even know when that's going to occur.
Well, I would agree with you because you look at who's on the line right now, and he's the guy that has proven he could play at a very, very high level, right? That's a guy that's shown it. The rest, you can't say that for. Right?
I mean, who's the best? Who do you feel this is good? assuming that
Is as good as
Ryan is coming back, not as good as Zach Tom, but aside from Zach Tom, who in that offensive lineman, assuming the ones that you say, do you think will play at the highest level? Go for it, buddy. I'm listening.
Out of the guys that we talked about,
you got Belton, Ryan, Banks, and Morgan. Who do you believe will be? That told us all we need to know. Nice answer there.
Yeah, I mean, there's who is the best performer out of those four?
Yeah, who do you think right now? When the season starts, you'll say we need the most out of this guy, assuming that they all play at their level. It's not
Banks.
All right,
Banks needs to. He can elevate the interior of that group if he raises his play. Banks would be the guy. Yeah.
Right. And you can't see if Zach Tom was younger and healthy, you'd be putting Zach Tom in there with anybody, right? I don't know. Zach Tom could be the one.
Well, Zach,
because he has that potential.
I'm excluding him from that. Conversation.
I'm saying this is a couple years ago, and we talked about this. You'd say, I don't know about that. All I know is this kid's going to be good. It's just a question of when. Now,
correct.
There is some positive history of Banks, but he's a little iffy right now, Coach.
Yes, I mean,
and he's your best. Iffy is your best. I'm standing firm in my position that the most important thing every week will be what Bryan Bulaga says about the offensive line.
For when he was brought in, obviously he was brought in for a high price tag and to stabilize an interior part of the offensive line. And with the up and downs kind of a performance and then his injuries, and I get he played better towards the end of the season, but I think there's a whole 2 more gears from that he can play. I think he could play, say he was in second gear, I think he can go up to fourth gear. And obviously that means stay healthy and things like that. But I don't think that was the best that he can play at. There's no way. I think he could perform better. I think he has traits that you see, flashes at time, that he can perform better. It's just consistency of doing that, right? And that's why if they do keep him around in year 2, which I imagine they will, another year being in the system, another year more comfortable, hopefully injury-free, we see that level get raised.
Yeah.
So between him and Tom, those are the 2 guys that I expect to be the highest performers. And then obviously if you bring someone in free agency, like Tausch has been talking about at center, like a Linderbaum, then it goes immediately to him because he's a stud, or guys like that, right? You expect them to perform at a high level. And I'm not saying that because he's an Iowa guy, even though, I wouldn't be mad about it.
He got personal help from the head coach.
Yeah.
Every offensive lineman should be good. If you're an offensive lineman, you're not good. I got some things we need to talk about. Kirk Ferentz is spending time with you, according to Bulaga. How can you not be good?
I don't know how much he spent time with the centers.
Oh.
My time.
You're right. You said it was tackles.
It was the tackles. I don't know how much. Now, obviously, things could have changed in my how many years I've been, absent from the Iowa practice field.
I'm no expert on this, but I got the feeling with Kirk Ferentz, things don't change much. I think he likes doing it the way he's been doing it, and he's always going to keep doing it the way he's been doing it.
Yep. So like that, but regardless, and we can even talk about that too. I don't even know how Baltimore would let Linderbaum out the door. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know what they would be thinking.
I would be thinking they've got they can spend the money somewhere else, and they must have somebody young. Every time something like that happens, I always believe a team has someone there as an alternative. But
I mean, look how that worked for the Giants and McKinney.
Well, the Giants are messed up. You can't use that as a stand for anything. Next, you're going to tell me the Jets made a mistake. Come on, the Cleveland Browns. How are they doing with? Go ahead.
Well, I think I saw something weird, and I don't know. Maybe Pebble, you can confirm it. I saw something today that every Browns offensive lineman is a free agent. Every Browns starting offensive lineman was a free agent this year. I swear, like you could.
I'm sure.
I don't know.
You're surprised?
Yeah, kind of. But then again, being mismanaged is not something that I should
if
be
you heard
shocked
they were
about.
going to bring
That's
in.
true. Yeah, that's 100% true.
They're going to
Okay.
bring in 3. They're going to bring 3 different players in from Venus or Mars. They got aliens coming in. All right.
They got to interview them first.
They got to interview them first.
A long
yes.
interview process. as well.
That's right. So we will have Bryan Bulaga talking with Jason Wood. They can continue the discussion, which I think is appropriate, about the offensive line. 3 pillars, senior living communities, beautiful setting along the Bark River in Dousman. But I always start with 300 acres. That's how they can do everything. A top-ranked full continuum community offering active adult and independent living, or assisted living and memory care, or skilled nursing and rehab, with incredible wellness programs, long list of activities, 10 miles of walk. That's what you could do with 300 acres. And, because the most important part is always the staff at a senior living community, how much easier does it make it for the staff to be amazing with 300 acres? 3pillars.org, 3pillars.org to get more information. Jason Wilde next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Eastbound 94, starting to see some delays from Highway F to Springdale Road. Back on the brakes, heading through the Barker Road area to Brookfield Road. Back on the brakes once more from 84th Street past Hawley Road. On the westbound side, slowing down from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound on the bypass, backing up out of the Zoo interchange all the way down to Lincoln. Back on the brakes from Beloit Road down and around the Hale interchange all the way to about 51st. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Rain likely tonight, around a half an inch with a low of 34. Tomorrow, morning rain. It switches over to snow. It'll be windy, less than an inch in Milwaukee, 1 to 3 inches to the north and west, a high of 48. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Truth Nation, mark your calendars for Friday, February 20th, as we will be hosting our 2nd annual Truth Community Awards, hosted by the legendary Home, Blow, and Bailey Cope. Tickets are on sale now. Visit 1017truthawards.com to learn more. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks, Gruber, Steinhoffel, Cousin Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. Come celebrate with us on Friday, February 20th at the Truth Community Awards from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do not miss out on the best community awards event of the year.
Tax refund season is here, but at Cunis, you don't need your tax refund to get a great ride. Right now, during the Cunis Keep Your Refund event, you don't have to spend your tax refund to drive something you'll love. Why? Because Cunis has added a huge selection of over 1,200 affordable pre-owned vehicles available right now across 3 Milwaukee area locations. That's Oak Creek Buick GMC, Greenfield Buick GMC, and Hope Chevrolet. Cars, trucks, and SUVs, all makes and models, and all priced to fit your budget, so you can hang on to your refund for the things that matter most. Pay down bills, take a trip, start a project, spend your refund how you want. With over 1,200 affordable vehicles, chances are the perfect one is waiting for you without touching your tax refund. Shop Cunis Oak Creek Buick GMC, Greenfield Buick GMC, and Hope Chevrolet today. The Keep Your Refund event, only at Cunis. Start your search at CunisMKE.com.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at 3 Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's just it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit 3 Pillars with living longer.
With Pella, you get so much more than stunning windows and doors. You get the Pella experience. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. And with a 10-year labor warranty, your windows and doors are worry-free for years to come. If something goes wrong, we're here to handle it because you work with the same team from start to finish.
Right now, get 0% interest for up to 48 months.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, pepperoni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian.
Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Jason Wilde, three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with Bryan Bulaga. Take it away, Doctor of Football.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, Bryan. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. So I don't want to get too much into it because it's really irrelevant to anyone that cares about the Green Bay Packers unless they travel up to Chicago every season to play a football game. The fans, that is. I mean, the team, it doesn't really matter where they play them. What do you make of the news coming out about the stadium? Over $2 billion that the Bears are going to give up, $3 billion that Indiana's going to give up. What do you take from it?
Yeah, I wish I owned a football team because clearly you got a lot of money then. A couple things. First of all, like I understand. We talked to Sylvie today, and he was talking about how there's not enough tailgating space and all the other stuff at Soldier Field. I like history, right? Like I like going to Lambeau Field every day for work, right? And it's not the same as it was when Bud Lee or Cliff Crystal or Steve the Homer True were going to Lambeau Field, but there's still a historic element there, and somehow building a brand new place in Northwest Indiana holds less appeal to me. I also love, I don't think I could ever live in the city of Chicago. I think I'd be overwhelmed by it, but I love going to Chicago, man. Like you guys used to stay at that Westin right next to the Hancock building. And I just love the energy of being down on Michigan Avenue and everything else. So I've always enjoyed my trips to Chicago, and I know the Packers have enjoyed most of them because they usually win. Not the case on the last two trips. But, I mean, first of all, you grew up in the Chicagoland area. You understand that there's a lot of quote-unquote Chicagoans that live in Northwest Indiana. It just, I don't love it. But then again, I don't really know if I love Arlington either. I held out hope that, they screwed up the first renovation, I thought, right? Like they landed a spaceship inside this historic facility, and then they didn't really upgrade the infrastructure all that effectively. So I'm going to cover those games wherever they are. Fans are going to go to those games wherever they are. I will say this, if they put a dome on it, that's the plan in Northwest Indiana, right? And in Arlington. There's something about then all the teams in the NFC North except the Packers being indoor teams too. So I still believe they'll end up in Arlington ultimately, and that the state of Illinois will step up. This feels like a genuine possibility, but also kind of a bargaining chip, and we'll see where it ends up.
Yeah, it would be a shame for it to be a dome field. Then there's only one team left in the NFC North with a grass field outdoor.
Yeah, crazy, right?
It would be an absolute shame, in my opinion. I mean, it's like you're holding out hope for the last purity of the game, and you would think the Bears and Packers would be holding out, but nope.
Purity of the game, playing in a snowstorm, isn't that purity of the game? That's taking away the benefit that a good team deserves. There's a limit to how far you should want it to go. You think that Denver game was the purity of the game? Come on.
I loved every second of it. I loved every second of it.
Take it away. Three-time sports writer.
Let me ask you this, because I'm Team Bryan, right? Like it was really cold walking on the Waldron deck parking structure on my way to the stadium in past years. I don't have to play in it, but I feel the same way as Bryan. My question is, do skill guys feel that way? Do quarterbacks feel that way? Like, is there a difference of opinion among you guys?
You know the answer to that, Jason. Come on.
I know. Sometimes reporters ask questions they think they know the answer to, though, and that's what I'm doing here.
I know for a fact that our wideouts and stuff that we played with, they would rather play inside every day of the week, which, whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
Whatever.
I'm going to tell you what. The quarterback I played with had a pretty good record in the cold and outside and on grass.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because if there was one guy that was going to be able to spin it through the elements, it was him. So it didn't really matter, I think, from his standpoint. I mean, you mentioned Denver and that snow out, but like that's part of it. You get that sometimes. Like that's part of it. That's part of the fun. At least in my opinion, of the unknown of what could happen on any given Sunday with the weather if you're playing in an outdoor stadium, or you're playing in Chicago, you're playing in Wisconsin, you're playing in Denver, play in Kansas City. It could be bad there too, but they're building a dome, so that's done and over with too. So like at this point in time, it's just going to be on fake grass inside domes, and it's going to be besides Lambeau.
Sport. Yep, it's gonna be an indoor sport, just like the NBA.
Yeah, essentially, it's a shame, and we all know how bad that gets.
Well, wait a minute. These are retractable domes, right?
No.
Are they or not? Or what?
Yeah,
what?
I don't think. No, I don't. I don't think. I mean, I haven't seen the schematics for the Indiana one. But I don't think the Arlington one was retractable. I think it was just a dome.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Buffalo did it right. Built a new stadium. It's an outdoor stadium. We're keeping Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo is staying outdoor. Like that's the whole part. That's your team's advantage. Like if you're the Bears, you bring in teams like I always thought in Green Bay, from the warm weather and not from used to that climate, you bring them in, it's your advantage. Like at least that's what I thought. But regardless of that, Jason, as this offseason now slowly crawls along here, as it always does, at least from a news standpoint, Homer and I were talking about, because I got asked on KBN about the rankings of the Packers players, the PFF, and I told him I could care less about PFF ratings and the player ratings and all that. But then Homer mentioned something about Jordan Love. And I said, we can all care about Jordan Love, as I do, but if we want him to be a top 5 quarterback or a top 6 or whatever, it doesn't, whatever, right? There's a key piece to that Homer and I talked about 10 minutes for, and that's the offensive line and the uncertainty of what it is. If obviously we talked yesterday with Tausch about Linderbaum, the center, right? That would be our, if we could bring him in your opinion, right? What part of that group do you think is the biggest key? What do you think it's the center? Do you think it's, if Banks is back, does he play well? Is it Belton? How does he improve? Is it the left tackle? What part of this group do you think is going to be the biggest part that needs improvement or needs to be a high performer for this thing to kind of go right?
Yeah. So I think a couple things, and you know, I always thought of myself as an honorary offensive lineman. Certainly, with the amount of grief I took at that end of the locker room, I was certainly teased as much as most offensive linemen are. But it was done out of love. I know.
Of
but
course.
like, for instance, like, you know, I think we've been honest about Josh Myers' performance. It was not elite level center play. He got better in the second half of the season a couple years ago, but Elton thought he could play it, and he looked like a fish out of water. The fact that he and Zach Tom later both used the same phrase to describe their play to me is why I love offensive linemen, because they're no BS. And the fact that the both of them said, "I've played like blank." You don't hear wide receivers say that. You don't hear quarterbacks say that. So, first and foremost, as much as it's almost as bad as joining one of Homer's clubs. But I'm with Tausch. I want the old Iowa center in the middle, and I can't believe that he's going to hit the market. Like, I think that's almost as stupid as the Giants letting Xavier McKinney hit the market a couple of years ago. Like, I understand center is the lowest paid of the positions. I'm still not quite sure why, because they're kind of the nerve center of everything. And when you have a really good one, it is a game changer. You've talked about Corey, who's one of your closest friends. Like, Corey Linsley was an elite center. Mike Flanagan was an elite center. Scott Wells was an elite center and a really pissed off one when they, when they tried to give his job away. Those guys changed the game offensively up front. Now, I would argue, and only because I don't know what he is at this point at left tackle. And by the way, if Pro Football Focus was serious about really wanting like elite level grading and stuff that I would feel good about paying for, they should get a bunch of Bryan Bulagas. Like, seriously, like ones that have played, guys that are retired that, I mean, you made too much money. I'm surprised you do stuff with us, but we're glad you do. But like guys that, retired after 5 or 6 years that are really smart, know the game, that could do the grading, and it would have a lot more, like it would be respected more, because anytime you say something, I know that you know what the hell you're talking about. Whereas every time I talk about Pro Football Focus's grades, I always say, now they're not the end-all, be-all, and I understand how people feel about it, but here's what they say, right?
Yeah.
But I bring that up in conjunction with your conversations that you and I and Tausch and Homer have had over the last X number of months now, and that is, we don't really know what Jordan Morgan is going to be as a left tackle. And while I hate to be, I don't see any way, blank, I don't see any way they bring back Rasheed Walker. He's like the 8th rated free agent. Like, somebody's going to pay him way more than Goody and Russ want to pay him. So now it is time for Jordan Morgan. And, the fact that Goody, when he tried to talk him up, said, well, we thought he played really well in the preseason. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, that does not make me feel better if I'm a Packers fan and I want to see Jordan Love not get blindsided and earholed by Austin Booker again. So I think, if I was a Packers fan, the offensive line would make me nervous. Because right now, if they had to start the season today, which obviously they don't, it's going to be Jordan Morgan at left tackle. And I still think it's 50-50-ish on Aaron Banks because he's got a $24 million cap number right now. Yeah. I can tell you this, he ain't playing this season with a $24 million cap number as a left guard. So whether it's him or it's Donovan Jennings or whoever it is at left guard, and then right now it's Jacob Monk at center, it's Anthony Belton at right tackle, and it can't be Zach Tom at Anthony Belton at right guard, and it can't be Zach Tom at right tackle right now because he just had surgery on his patellar tendon. So who the heck knows? It's Glover that would be coming back from his shoulder injury, I think, who'd have to play there, Travis Glover. So that is a major piece of whether they're a Super Bowl contender or not, is whether guys elevate their game and whether they add pieces that can come in and play for them.
All right, I have a question for both of you because we've just about run out of time. For the Packers, which quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings would be tougher, Aaron Rodgers, Malik Willis?
Aaron.
Well, I know Bryan loves how much Rodgers could spin it in the cold weather, but when I look at he's at now, I think with those weapons he could have maybe not quite what Favre did in 2009 there, but along those same lines. But they have to have Darisaw healthy. Their offensive line has to play well to protect him. I'm a big Malik Willis believer. I don't think what we saw was our imagination. So I think he's going to go somewhere, and if it's the right fit with the right coach, he's going to be successful. But if I'm the Vikings, I don't want to sign Malik Willis because to me, you're saying McCarthy's not the guy. Whereas if you sign Rodgers, you can say, hey, it's a one-year thing. We think if JJ takes a step back, we can really get him to where he's going to be the quarterback we picked. If you sign Malik Willis, you're saying, we don't think this guy's the guy, and we're going to do this guy, and then we're going to probably draft another guy down the road.
So your choice is Rodgers, and you're saying I don't even have to ask Bulaga. You know for sure that it's Rodgers.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying for this year, but yeah.
Because, I mean, but you go with Rodgers. How many years do you say, well, J.J. one more year? To me, you go to Rodgers, you're basically saying J.J.'s not the guy, and you might as well move on now if you can, because Willis could be the guy. But neither of you brought that up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But again, I don't know if they – the question I have is whether the Vikings are willing to do that. That is – I know they fired the GM that picked him, but is Kevin O'Connell ready to say, I can't make chicken salad out of this guy because he's chicken you-know-what? I don't know if they're there. If they are, if they are convinced that J.J. McCarthy's not the guy, then they should absolutely sign Malik Willis.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Milwaukee weight loss. A weight loss program, it works. I decided I would try it because I've heard from other people, it works, and they've been on it for like a year and a half, and they've lost X number of pounds, and it's still working. So what do you need to know about Milwaukee weight loss? They can give you all the specifics. There's nothing crazy about it. I believe that in my 60 days, they kind of have the first 60 days they have you do certain stuff. I'm going to be down somewhere between 24 and 30 pounds. So, and there's a promo. This Valentine's month, Milwaukee Weight Loss is sharing the love with $300 off during the Valentine's sale now through the 28th. 262-235-3980, or you go to the site, MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. A weight loss program that works. Ask them. They'll give you all the specifics. But when somebody tells you a weight loss program works, this is how it works with me, I want to know more about it. MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Next quarter with Bryan Bulaga.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Southbound on 43, backing up from before Locust all the way down through the Marquette down to the KK River. The northbound side slowing down from Kilbourne up to North Avenue. Westbound 94, you got backups from 25th to Mitchell Boulevard. And eastbound backing up from 92nd Street all the way to Hawley Road, with more delays heading through the stadium interchange all the way to 25th Street. We've also got delays on the bypass heading southbound from Beloit Road down and around the Hale interchange to about 51st Street. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Rain likely tonight around a half an inch with a low of 34. Tomorrow, morning rain. It switches over to snow. It'll be windy, less than an inch in Milwaukee, 1 to 3 inches to the north and west, a high of 48. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
This Valentine's month, Milwaukee Weight Loss is sharing the love with $300 off during our Valentine's sale. Now through February 28th only. It's the perfect time to fall in love with the result-getting Milwaukee Weight Loss program. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. Whether you want to look great for Valentine's Day, an upcoming event, or just for you, you can start losing those unwanted pounds right now. No more losing weight and gaining it back. This program helps you keep the weight off for good. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Homer here. I've already lost 10 pounds since I started the journey. Now it's your time to show yourself some love with $300 off. Hurry. This Valentine's sale ends February 28th. Patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call 262-235-3980 now for your free consultation or MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
According to American writer H.L. Mencken, a well-stocked bar can create over 17 billion different cocktails. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. I don't know if $17 billion is accurate or not, but I do know that Discount Liquor is the place to find everything you need to be well stocked for any occasion. Discount Liquor is Wisconsin's home to over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,500 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines. Our unparalleled selection is rivaled only by our incredible savings and everyday low prices. And we know how to take care of our customers, no matter the occasion. In fact, Discount Liquor has won numerous national and local awards. Visit Discount Liquor at our Milwaukee or Waukesha locations. Family owned and operated since 1960.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow. Check out our specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Ben Brust here for the Princeton Club. If you're looking for your better tomorrow, you know where to go. It's the Princeton Club. If you're looking to grow, it's also the Princeton Club, because they will cheer for you in all areas of your life. The best way to do that is to start a foundation of having a healthy body, and your growth will start from there. With the cleanest health clubs in Wisconsin, they provide everything for you to reach your goals. Start your better tomorrow today and grow in all areas of your life at the Princeton Club. Join for a better tomorrow.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tune in to the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Bucks versus the World, narrated by comedian Charlie Berens, reveals the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open. The Bucks became the first NBA team to take on the best national team in the world, the Soviet Union, and they were good. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. Homer along with the doctor of football, Bryan Bulaga, who just wants conditions so bad, doesn't care about the fans. You realize you're in the entertainment business, sir, and your job is to provide the best form of entertainment, and that cannot be done when the conditions are horrible. You would agree with that?
I feel like the fans love it. I think they love it.
Yes, TV fans do, yeah, because they're not there. So we're now you're picking the TV fans over the local fans. There's no way the local fans like it. Not to mention the quality of football is much worse, right?
It was a sellout in Denver. It's a sellout in Lambeau when it's cold. What are you talking about?
Well, that doesn't mean that they don't know how bad the weather's going to be. And that doesn't, I mean, the biggest thing to me is the football stinks. It isn't as good. It's not real football. I don't know. There's some bad weather you can put up with. Other conditions, it's horrible.
Yeah, well,
all right.
It's all part of the experience as a fan.
Yeah.
It's part of the experience. Listen, I always, like, whenever my buddies wanted to come to games in Green Bay, they always wanted to come in December because they wanted to get that atmosphere. They wanted to potentially have it be a snow game at Lambeau. Yeah. How cool, like how awesome is that? I get to say I went to a snow game at Lambeau.
Within reason, yes, there's a certain level to put up with.
Well, and I mean, to put up with, I mean, once you're there, you're there. I mean, the beer's going to taste just as good as if it was not snowing as hard. You're going to cheer just as loud. I mean, it's all part of the experience of, like, being at a game like that. It's exciting, and it's exciting to play in it. Honestly, like, it really is. It's fun to play in those conditions.
And why would it be that your wide receivers don't feel the same way you do?
Oh, because it becomes more of a upfront game, more of a running and blocking type game than it is throw it 80 yards downfield type game. And they don't like that, which is okay. I understand that. But there's more than one way to play football, right? You can run it, you can throw it, you could punt it.
Huh.
I mean, you could do a lot of different things.
This is interesting of note, but you're certainly aware of the position of the league creating a Super Bowl so that there's a limit to how bad the weather can be, right?
I mean, that's because I would imagine.
Oh, I got to wait to hear this one. This is going to be good.
I would imagine they do that for the fan experience only, not for the actual gameplay.
You don't think they believe the quality of the play is more appropriate and a reflection of the football quality, not who can play in crap as well?
Well, I mean, who was it that played in that Super Bowl in New York when it was, what was it, Denver and Seattle? It was like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Isn't that crap?
I would say that I don't know that qualifies as crap. I mean, there's a limit you can put up with
for a Super Bowl.
But for a Super Bowl, yes, that was crap.
Okay.
But that's why they don't play in New York. How often do they play in New York? I mean,
I mean, to my knowledge, it was that one.
Yeah, wonder why that is.
The rest of them are domes, though, and it's. I mean, they're lucky that Dallas was a dome, because if not, it would have been an ice storm and freezing cold out.
Right,
it'd have been great. It'd have been great.
Would have been great.
Yes. I mean, it's more of a production for the NFL at the Super Bowl. Let's be real.
Well,
it's
it is a production, but it allows the football players to excel to their maximum ability because they're not potentially have to dealing with crap.
I mean, so the excuse is fine though if it's a regular season game or if it's a playoff game and they don't play well.
Right.
I'm asking you.
Yeah.
So that's a fine excuse. Then.
Well, no, they don't count as much. Yeah, we know the games.
They don't. You have to win to get to those.
Well, yes, but the more the game, you're down to one game. The more the game counts, then they're less likely to want it to be and affect a certain level. I like the idea. I like the idea of I'd have to look of retractable domes because I think you have a dome, a stadium where you're benefiting the fans that are there. They're covered to some degree. And if the weather's really cold, then you can play in the cold, but you don't have the concerns about all the field and you can't see the yardage, or it puts a limit to how much bad it can be. And that is, I would agree, that's kind of part of the game. But I don't know. I don't know the dynamics of
Lombardi's rolling over right now. Hearing you say this, I mean, he's rolling over hearing you say this.
Yeah,
it's just you want to soften the game down a little bit, make it more.
No. I want to make it fair so that the ability football. I don't want it soft. I know how tough it is. And I know
about the elements are part of it. The elements are part of it that makes it tough.
Within reason. But there's a point where it screws things up, and I wouldn't want that to occur. So I'm trying to put a range in there.
Well, if the NFL cared that much, they would have postponed that AFC Championship game.
No, I think you've nailed it. The people on TV like it. So we are, but
That's
it isn't.
true.
They got. I mean, New England, or was it Denver? Got screwed. Who was playing in the game? They couldn't. They couldn't score.
Yeah, Denver. Well, they got screwed because their quarterback broke his ankle or whatever the week before.
Right, and they messed up. And their coach went goofy too. So
yeah.
No, I think there's a limit to what you want to have potential for, and it's in the world we live in. We can figure stuff out but maybe retractable domes are too expensive, or to me,
got a couple extra billion laying around.
Yeah, no, to me, they should have a Super Bowl at AmFam Field in Milwaukee.
Really,
you can have some natural weather conditions and still protect it enough so it's not horrible. What do you think about that? I'm not that soft.
I just don't. I mean, because you look at the way Atlanta has one of those, right? They do. They barely ever. If it gets below 50 degrees, they close it. It's like what's the point of even having it then?
That is a legitimate comment, sir. We'll continue this for many, many months to go. A limousine ride, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, son of a gun. Woo! Ric Flair's coming to Milwaukee. That's all. Ric Flair's only got one thing. Woo! March 27th at the Riverside Theater. Thanasis live with Ric Flair. It's a full live show. Thanalysis live March 27th at the Riverside Theater, presented by Gruber Law Offices and Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Everybody together now. Woo! Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
A Road at Night is a documentary chronicling former Badgers player and coach Howard Moore and the 2019 tragedy that forever changed his family. You can see it on the big screen at Marcus Point Cinema in Madison, February 13th through the 19th, with exclusive post-screening panels during the opening weekend. A Road at Night, February 13th through 19th at Marcus Point Cinema in Madison. All proceeds support Howard Moore's ongoing care. Find showtimes and get tickets right now at aroadatnight.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
Boy, talk about timing being everything and bad timing. The Major League Baseball Players Association Executive Director Tony Clark had to resign amid a federal investigation, leaving that union without its longtime leader. And it's less than a year before the expiration of the CBA, meaning a collective bargaining agreement involving Major League Baseball and the players of Major League Baseball. Now, I don't doubt that the players will find the right kind of leader. But no matter what's going on with Tony Clark, part of that investigation, that's a hard act to follow by a guy who played in the majors and then took the place of the executive director taking over that and really making sure the players were going to be taken care of no matter what was going on, salaries, anything like that. Tony Clark took care of the players. So whoever steps into those shoes, those are big shoes to fill, especially when a major CBA agreement has to be reached or at least negotiated upon without a man who led the Player Association for so long and did it so well. In 60 seconds, the Super Bowl MVP in search of a new team?
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Boy, from the epitome of what have you done for me lately, ooh, 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 just like the Janet Jackson song, Kenneth Walker III had such a great run in the postseason, was the MVP of the Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks. But they're not going to franchise tag him, which means more than likely he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. And also more than likely, the Seattle Seahawks are not going to re-sign him because there's a certain guy named Jackson Smith and Jigba and other free agents that are going to take more precedence revolving around that football team. It's really, really unfortunate that Kenneth Walker III, and just Google his story, what he's had to overcome in college, in the National Football League. You finally get to that pinnacle individually by winning the MVP of the Super Bowl and collectively being part of a team that won the Super Bowl, and yet your services are not the same as anybody else they really need on that football team. He's going to find a spot, but it's a shame it had to come to this for a man who earned the right to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. For over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. Because they've dealt with so many different kinds, that's how they can be so good. Doesn't matter the size, they've dealt with them all in over 50 years. From health insurance to customized coverage options, Saganiac Planning's expert make it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning, your partner in planning confidence, whatever your size of company. Visit SaganiacPlanning.com. Call Eric Pearson today. Phone number, remember, 783-262-783. Roger Maris, 6161. With the Doctor of Football, Bryan Bulaga. Any game that you played in which the outcome was determined by the weather, in that you either would have won and you didn't because the effect of the weather, or you lost and could have won, or that's what everybody thought was the home field advantage in Green Bay, to which I said garbage. The advantage is they got a damn good team, because it doesn't seem to be as much an advantage. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't ever remember a game where it was like, oh, that decided it. That was it. It had to do with that. I mean, I've played in snow games and things like that, but nothing that was, I guess, like what we saw in Denver. So I can't say that any game was decided by the outcome of weather. Like, played in a downpour of rain, played in bitter cold, played in snow.
What's the worst? I've always thought windy, but I don't know if that is or not.
Oh, I think the worst for an offensive lineman is playing down in Miami in September. I mean, that to me is the absolute worst.
And there's no way you can prep for it. It's not possible unless you went down there a week ahead of time.
Yep, impossible to get ready for that. Impossible unless you lived in Florida, or like as a team, like, right, you were Tampa going to Miami or whatever it may be.
Worse than Denver and the high altitude, is that?
Yeah, the high altitude, I always remember just getting like cottonmouth from it. It never affected me from a stamina standpoint. It was just like I was just always thirsty. Like, always like would come onto the sidelines and just like chug water, which was kind of weird, but never did I feel like, oh man, I'm so out of breath, I can't breathe, I can only do 3 plays of drive. Like that, I never felt that. I'd say heat and then rain were probably the 2 tougher ones to play in, would be my guess, because you slide around a little bit with the rain.
So is it credit to give Aaron Rodgers for being so good in the cold, or did he try to figure it out, or was he's just good in any weather? What was
I think he's good in any weather, but he's got legitimate bear paws for hands.
Oh.
So he's able to grip a ball when it's cold out and the ball gets slick or it gets wet, and he's still able to grip it and just spin the heck out of it. So that's why I don't think it bothered him.
You support anything that says that teams are looking at a quarterback's hand size. You say that's legit.
I think that's legit, yes.
All right.
I think that's legit.
They don't care about they only care about arm length for offensive linemen. They don't care about your hands, do they?
Maybe they do. I don't know. I mean, I think as long as you can get them on a breastplate and grab guys, then you should be fine.
Yeah.
Like, at least is the way I look at it.
Nicely put. We'll quote you on that. The Marquette Basketball Hour. Next.
Southbound on 43, we do have delays pretty much from just before Locust all the way down through the Marquette interchange and over the high-rise bridge. You're back on the brakes from Lincoln down to the KK River crossing. Northbound is slowing down from Kilbourne up to North Avenue. Westbound 94, 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard is going to be a heavy ride. The eastbound side really heavy from 84th Street to Hawley Road. Maybe a little bit more of a delay coming out of the stadium interchange past 30th Street. We've also got southbound on 894 backing up from National Avenue down through the Hale interchange all the way almost to Loomis. And then some delays along southbound 41 from just south of Hampton down past Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Rain likely tonight, around a half an inch with a low of 34. Tomorrow, morning rain. It switches over to snow. It'll be windy, less than an inch in Milwaukee, 1 to 3 inches to the north and west, a high of 48. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and 0% financing for 36 months plus $500 off your project. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from